That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but
Okay.
now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Candlelight, camel blues, romanticizing younger days. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, April 27th. Man, so much is going on right now. So much has taken place. There's tons of news to get to. We've got some awesome updates for some gardening, trying to inspire people to grow some, I guess we can call it medicine. It's not even just food. But let's start off our day correctly. Even if I fall, I will rise. For the Lord is my light. Okay? Always remember that no matter how hard things are, no matter how dark it might be, you will rise. Just like that sun, okay? That's what the rise and grind is about. Getting through this grind and rising, okay? And remember, good things take time. It takes time. Patience. It's something that I'm always working on. It seems to be one of the most important lessons that I've had to learn, at least in this incarnation, has been patience, okay? And also choosing happiness, putting the effort in. If you want to be happy, okay, be happy on purpose. Life actually responds to our energy. If you hesitate, it mirrors your doubt. If you declare it, it bows to your will. Don't wake up hoping the day is going to be kind to you. Wake up and decide to be kind to the day. Set your tone. Choose energies that elevate you. Okay? Happiness isn't found, it's actually created. Moment by moment, choice by choice, thought by thought, word by word, action by action. This is how happiness is found. And that's why I'm trying to inspire gardening, because it starts off by feeding the flowers, or feeding the plants that are going to grow vegetables or fruits, and then you then eat those things and it gives back to you. Where most of the society that we find ourselves in, everybody's so used to stealing that energy from others when we can just get it from everything that's around us naturally in a much better way, okay? The real power is actually how many wounds we can turn into wisdom, right? Instead of woe is me or victim mentality, strengthen yourself. Did you know that a scar, the tissue actually grows over that's stronger than the original skin that was there? Okay? Become strengthened by what you've been through, not burdened down by it. Another huge lesson that I'm constantly working on, especially even with my recent work, is force versus flow. Installing a ceiling that it's tongue and groove. You have to connect all the pieces together, and if you force it too much, right, it doesn't flow. It breaks the correct gaps that need to be there. You can jam one in too tight, and then you'll have another one that won't align correctly to it. So listen, when you force things, you actually crush them. When you open, life softly puts them into your palm. Train your mind to flow. Some force is needed, but learn to apply the correct amount of force. You don't want to crush the butterfly. You want to allow it to float and fly where it chooses. You want to give it a nice spot to rest if it chooses to rest on you. We have to work on this. This takes hard work, okay? And then you become to be the light that the darkness actually fears. As the morning arises, the darkness of night runs, scatters, and hides. Good morning, everyone. We got so much to get into. Let's do some music, and then we'll get into some of the news this week. We've got so many headlines, okay? Don't go away. And we're also hoping that this podcast informs you with the news. We're going to try to work on bringing you brand new music. We've got funny and informative memes. And also, we're trying to inspire that you start gardening and becoming healthy and just being as most natural as we can get to. That's the goal here. And we try to pack it all together into a couple of hour podcast. Okay, this isn't a 3-hit wonder. Just watch it at your own pace. Pause, continue. I'm sorry about the ads that Rumble puts on the content. I don't choose them. I don't really want anything to do with this. This is all my passion project. Okay, this is a small yet powerful team. Huge shout out to everybody that helps and supports the team through making content, music, memes, putting together the stuff. We got the Goldsmith Finding Gold. We got Awake Souls. You're not going to want to miss out. We're going to be live this afternoon. I believe it's 6 p.m. Central or 7 p.m. Eastern. Later today, we're going to be covering pressure and how the Blue Origin rocket actually is an impossibility. It's not even something that could be even possible, as well as the speeds that they were flying at, the G's they would have felt. We're going to get into more into depth in that. That's going to be on YouTube. The description to that. In the description is the link to the YouTube channel Awake Souls. And shout out to the Creator and to His Christ, His Son, His Messiah He chose and created. All the glory goes into them. Let's do another song break. When we come back, we'll get into the news. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm excited to be here.
I know it's only been a while that you and me messed around. Some say that I've grown quite attached, but what the hell is so wrong with that? I close my eyes before I go to bed and pray for you to never be sad. Wanna make your life like a dream, 'cause I love all the things that you've done to me. My friends tell me I need some clarity, but it's never been so clear to me that you're the one I wanna stick around. Yeah, you're the one. Am I falling in love too early? No, I don't really want to rush things, but the way that you smile, and the way you look at me's got me falling. I can't even breathe, you're taking my breath away. You're so fucking sweet, you're my favorite fruit. My friends are telling me I should be careful. Yeah. I don't give a fuck, I let you break my heart. I can take the hit, you're like a fucking drug. Can you blame me for getting addicted to you? My friends think that I've lost my mind. Can you tell me when you stay forever? Or am I just a fool to you? What do you mean we're not that serious? Have I been delusional? Should I have listened to my friends? They did say that I need some clarity. I was sure you were the one around. Was I falling in love too early? No, I don't really want to rush things, but the way that you smile, and the way you looked at me had me falling too early. No, I don't really want to rush things, but the way that you smile, and the way you looked at me had me falling too early.
Arturas Lappin's back again on the Rise and Grind with Falling in Love Too Early. Take your time, be patient. You got lots of time to fall in love. Let's get into the news, get into the content, but first check this video out. I mean, is this real? It's got to be
There's
fake.
no way this is real. Fresh out of Mario Kart. This guy, he's getting chased by the cops. His friend pulls up in a faster car, zooms off and says, "You know the plan." Zooms off. They're trying to escape the police. He pours oil like out of Mario Kart. And
Down he goes. It's for the cop. I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was fake. It was funny. Okay, yes, let's start off. The Pope, supposedly the vicar, the leader of the church, supposedly representing Christ, right? Pope Francis died, passed away April 21st after suffering what they're saying is a stroke and heart failure. Vatican doctor has said in death certificate released on Monday. So we don't even know if he was dead for a long time. It's really hard to tell with these psyops with what they're doing and what they're saying. But what we do know is that they're saying that he died. It was April 21st. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, timeline for electing the new pope. following Francis's funeral. So how does that work? People are asking. People are trying to find out. According to Catholic tradition, the conclave must begin between 15 and 20 days after the declaration of seat being vacant. It's likely this will begin in the first week of May. Super interesting. So if you follow the Hebrew tradition back to Moses, when to set the correct months of the year, that is when the sun is in the position of the sky of the Lamb, or Aries. Well, it is actually, according to this timeline, the new pope is actually going to be selected during Passover, the correct actual Hebrew time of Passover. Well, technically, it says here, any baptized Catholic man can be elected to the Pope's seat. The last time someone outside, they say, the College of Cardinals was chosen was in 1378. That's a long time. So apparently you have to be on the team. You have to be one of their own to get into this place. And that looks like it's going to be one of these Catholic cardinals they're going to put into the seat of power. And yep, if you guessed it, the Simpsons actually knew this was going to take place.
The Simpsons predicted Pope Francis's death in 2025. In a little-known episode of The Simpsons, a misplaced coffin stands at the center of St. Peter's Basilica, surrounded by silent cardinals. A Vatican flag flies at half-mast, and in the background, a giant screen displays the exact time, 11:11. Meanwhile, Kent Brockman reports on the passing of the Supreme Pontiff, stating that the official cause of death is severe bronchitis. People can't believe it. Crowds gather in St. Peter's Square, some holding candles, others praying in absolute silence. Intrigued, Lisa searches the library for information on previous popes and finds an old book with a chilling title, The End of a Cycle, 2025. As she reads, she realizes that every few decades, an unexpected event shakes the foundations of the Vatican. Could this be another case of history repeating itself? But the most unsettling part happens in the final scene. The screen shows the chimney of the Sistine Chapel releasing black smoke, a sign that there is still no successor. Suddenly, a gust of wind blows through the square, making the candles flicker, and a deep voice echoes from the TV. A new era is about to begin. Now, in real life, concerns about Pope Francis's health are growing. At 87 years old, he has faced multiple hospitalizations, and experts warn that his condition is fragile. Could the Simpsons have predicted another shocking event? Comment Pope if you wish him strength and protection. And follow me for more eerie predictions that will leave you speechless.
Don't comment Pope to support him. He is going to get what he sowed, just like each one of us will reap what we sow. Does this look at all Christian? Now, Catholics, the most satanic religion out there, claim to be Christian, which is crazy. If you read the Jesuit oath, just go ahead and search what is the Jesuit oath. You'll see that they're the most satanic. They're far more satanic than any other of the so-called religions out there. Look at this room. Could it get any more Freemasonic, satanic, just Knights of Templar-ish? They've got the pyramids everywhere, the checkerboard floor plus pyramids. You got the as above, so below mirroring it. And they've got, listen, okay, you want to wear a cross? Okay, that's fine. I believe if you're a true Christian, people should be able to tell by the content of you, your heart, your words, your actions, not by jewelry that you wear, okay? And first off, if you're going to wear a cross, would you put a tortured Christ on that cross? Okay, no. All this stuff is just insane, but sure enough, that is it. Let's get into it. The title, why is this prophecy so important? Well, could it be ushering in the end times? Also, make sure you're planting yourself some fruit. We got some fig trees and some pear and peach trees and apple trees. Go and check that out into the New York Post advertising, actually advertising something healthy. That's how the Rise and Grind does it. Pope Francis's successor revealed in what they call ancient prophecy plucked from the Vatican archives. Boy, would I ever like to spend some time going through the Vatican archives. You think they're going to let RJ shine down there? I highly doubt they will. But let's check it out. Is it the end of the world as we know it? Very likely. That is going to happen shortly, I hope. And I hope you on the other side of the screen also want the end of this crazy satanic system too. The prophecy of the popes is a 900-year-old manuscript believed to predict some of the pontiffs, or a lot of them accurately. Pope Francis being one of them, who has now died from what they're saying was a stroke. Okay. Now they're going to select the new pope. And it says a prophecy of the popes is a series of cryptic Latin phrases in the document that has been interpreted as describing the lineup of church leaders, starting with Celestine, which is a type of fig tree I'm growing, interestingly enough, the second in 1143, and ending with Peter the Roman in the year 2027, which is quickly approaching. Nostradamus also had some of these supposed soothsayers, and him saying that, he predicted Peter the Roman as well. Continuing on, you see some of their cryptic, satanic, symbolic paintings. You see all the satanic, so the Dagon fish hat that they wear, how the Babylonian, Egyptian, Canaanite traditions were passed down through the Roman Catholic Church, through Constantine. But here it is, picking the next pope. The College of Cardinals will convene in Rome to elect a successor to Pope Francis. The conclave will begin and until at least 15 days after the Pope's seat is vacant, following the days of official mourning. During this period, also known as Chamberlain oversees limited church operations. So they're still going to continue. There are 252 cardinals worldwide. Of these, 135 are, so you have to be under the age of 80 to be eligible to hold the highest satanic seat in the realm. Apparently, inside the Sistine Chapel, cardinals are seated inside this chapel in a secret. Each writes the name in secret of their chosen candidate by rank, places ballot in ceremonial urn, which is a bit weird. Counting the votes, 3 designated cardinals, known as scrutineers, tally, why won't it zoom in for me? Tally the ballots. Once counted, all ballots and notes are burned. So they burn it. Gee, that's not a good way to fix the voting. The voting process, if no candidate secures 2/3 majority, up to 4 votes are held daily, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. After the third, without a decision, a 1-day pause for prayer may occur, they say. The cycle repeats every 7 rounds. Electing a pope. A new pope is elected once a candidate receives at least 2/3 or 2/3 plus 1, if needed, of the votes from present cardinals. So as you can see, they've got these smoke signals, the path to the papacy. As the Catholic Church mourns the passing of Pope Francis, attention turns to the Vatican, where preparations are underway for the conclave to elect his successor. Within the sacred grounds, the Sistine Chapel will host the secretive voting process. So here we got St. Peter's Basilica, the satanic spot here. All this as well, you can learn about the satanic symbolism. Just search on YouTube the Vatican's satanic symbolism and you'll find all you need to know. Smoke signals, interestingly enough. Twice daily, smoke rises. Not the sun, not the light, not something good, but smoke rises from the chimney here. And black smoke means no decision. If you, by chance, see white smoke, signals a new pope has been elected. Kind of like when you're smoking wood. You don't want the black, you want the white. If you see blue smoke coming from your car, you've got a head gasket leak. So here we got the satanic symbolism going on. So that's what's taking place. Apparently, the recent smoke that's been coming from the Vatican has been the destruction of Francis's hard drives. We'll get into that later. While several religions believe their own theory about the fearful ending, some Christians think the day is coming soon. And since the prophecy of the Pope ends with Peter the Roman of the popes in 2027, many faithful have interpreted it to be the sign of the end times. Well, you know, the mark of the beast, the New World Order, the one world government, the totalitarian system being put in, the digital currency, the everything is really pointing to it. This is just a part of it. Saint Malachi, though, he is the one credited with creating the prophecy of the popes, writing 112 short, mysterious phrases about the papal progression after he received a vision through many experts, suggest he wrote it in hopes of getting himself into the top position himself. According to the final entries surrounding Peter the Roman, or the last pope, will preside over the church during the time of great turmoil, culminating in the destruction of Rome at the end of the papacy. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city, yes, will thankfully, excitedly be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people in the end. The last passage reads, the description of the popes are very specific until the year 1590, conveniently the year when it was discovered, and just several decades after Nostradamus himself made these claims. So there you've been caught up to date on what the actual prophecy of the popes and St. Malachi mixed in with Nostradamus. Here's a quick look at the modern-day Peter the Roman. Here he is on the left. A couple of the other popes that might get in. There might be a few Romans. He's 70 years old. He was born January 17th. Yeah, that's a bad time to be born. Petro Prolin, or Peter the next pope they're saying. He is the highest-ranking cardinal. He's running the Vatican already. There's this other guy, Piera Battista Pizzaballa. Beautiful pizzas, this guy's name. That's scary when you know the symbolism of what the FBI said. Pizza symbolizes pedophiles. And we've got this Catholic cardinal with the beautiful pizza as his name. That's terrifying. We got another Peter Erdo. This is a Hungarian man. He's only 72. Better birthday, though. June, getting a little summer sun here. And we got another Peter Turkson. This one's from Guyanese. We'll see what happens here. Those are the successions and the cardinals that are likely up to match the prophecy of Malachi. I'm probably going to stick with Peter the Roman of Italy, this first one here, the already leader of the Vatican as we speak. So we're going to see, and yeah, they're going to elect this new pope maybe on the actual correct crucifixion date, right? Or is it going to be on Good Friday, right? The day they kill him, right? Interestingly enough, they call it that. Moving on to the next crazy story of last week. Virginia Giuffre, yeah, you heard me say that right, Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abusive survivors, supposedly dies by suicide. This is super crazy. Virginia Giuffre, a pivotal witness in Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking scandal, supposedly took her life at 41 in Nurgaby, Australia. Her testimony was instrumental in securing Ghislaine Maxwell's 2021 conviction and cast a damning spotlight on Prince Andrew and Jean-Luc Brunel. Giuffre claimed Epstein trafficked her to Andrew and Brunel, sparking a 2021 lawsuit against Andrew, settled in 2022. So she got paid off, apparently. Born in Florida, Giuffre suffered childhood abuse before Maxwell groomed her for Epstein's exploitation from the years they state 1999 to 2002. Her family mourned, saying she lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking. Really interesting. Recently, Attorney General Pam Bondi re-released redacted Epstein files slammed as a redundant and useless. There's nothing new that came from any of that stuff, and now they're killing off any of the supposed eyewitnesses. Virginia Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abusers, dies by suicide. It continues on this article. She also provided critical information to law enforcement that contributed to the investigation into the conviction of Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell. I usually call her Ghislaine, but I think you pronunciated Ghislaine. As well, other investigators by the U.S. Attorney for Southern District of New York. Keep in mind, Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida when Epstein actually got his, soft deal for what he actually did when he just had to sleep nights apparently at the jail. It was utterly broken hearts that was announced that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. Her family said in a statement, she lost her life. We read that. Virginia was a fierce warrior, they say, fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. She was the light that lifted so many survivors, that statement said. And in the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. Raised primarily in Florida, Giuffre had a troubled childhood. So all of this seems awfully pitted against her. So she was the bad one because she had a troubled childhood, and nothing except for Ghislaine Maxwell's arrest supposedly has come from this. None of the actual pedophiles have been caught or penalized, including Prince Andrew. She was attempting to rebuild her life, they say, when Maxwell swooped in and groomed her to be sexually abused by Epstein. And it goes on to state, she's going to tell you in her own voice, it's crazy that she died by suicide because just prior to this, she was in a car accident. And she had said that she was about to die. This is her own words here to Brunel. I wanted Brunel to know that he no longer had power over me, Giuffre said. That I was a grown woman now, and I've decided to hold him accountable for what he did to her so many years ago. So it was all about... I guess if you were groomed and sexually abused, you are going to harbor a lot of pain. It's horrible what these men do. Her biggest was, if I don't do this, nobody's going to do it, said Giuffre. Is there anything else interesting in this? Just that she said that she wasn't suicidal. She just was in a car accident not that long ago here, which was obviously a staged fake photo in a hospital hooked up to machines. You wouldn't pose in your bra. You're not going to have jewelry and earrings on. Right? The whole thing seemed weird, but let's listen to Giuffre herself.
I was so young. Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together," and I was like, "Okay." And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, and Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house. And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it.
It's weird that she would smile. How could you smile if you're so ravaged that you're willing to kill yourself over this? She just smiles. I don't believe any of this, ladies and gentlemen on the other side.
What you do for Epstein.
Doesn't look like a victim.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
I really don't know about this. Some sources say that she was LARPing as this actual character when this character is actually Elon Musk's first wife that was arranged by Ghislaine Maxwell. The two look a lot closer together than Giuffre does to that picture. Elon Musk's ex-wife denies, though, that Ghislaine Maxwell handpicked her to be his child bride. She goes on to say how disgusting it is and how appalled she is by the accusations. This is also the mother that Elon lost his first son at 10 months, surprisingly. You don't say he didn't sacrifice his kid at 10 months old, huh? Now, their other son, they had twins, and one of them is now a girl, right? Completely changed sex. Riley admitted, though, that she and her now ex had once been a guest, though, at the Epstein Manhattan mansion, but insisted that the ties went no deeper. So you actually have all the different ties, all the different information. I'll let you decide on the other side of the screen what it is that you want to believe. I don't believe that this story is honest. I don't think any of it is. I would like to know more, and I wish I had the opportunity to have the real information. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a song break. When we return, we'll get into more of last week's breaking news. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Let's go.
On a hero's dose in a hurricane,
figure eight. The psilocybin and the sun on the horizon got me seeing silver linings in a sideways figure eight.
That's the band Camino with their introduction onto the Rise and Grind with their new hit song, Infinity. Come on, let's get back into this. I want everybody to know, I mean, this place actually is pretty funny. You can drive through Austin here, and they changed. It's not just a meme. This is an actual place that you can go. Restaurant here. And this one says, my body is a temple for tacos. Absolutely. I've actually started to learn how to make my own salsa with actual, dried different peppers, stuff like that. It's really been interesting. A little bit of peanut, a little bit of grape oil, not seeds. We're trying to stay away from seed oil here on the Rise and Grind. Let's get into this. This is another feeling that we have. This is what it's like watching fake alternative media and mainstream media try to cover the news and like skirt and duck between the actual truth and the topics. This is how our small but powerful team feel. You know,
Goodness.
we don't want to have to do this,
In his glove for a moment.
but we do. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's get into this next section of the news here. WEF confirms investigation into claims about, you guessed it, Klaus Schwab stepping down from leading the WEF, right? It says here World Economic Forum confirmed Wednesday that it has launched an investigation into allegations made against its founder, Klaus Schwab, that reportedly prompted his resignation this week. The WEF, which hosts the annual meeting of wealthy, famous, influential, global elitists at luxury Swiss ski resorts in Davos, initially provided no explanation. Its longtime chairman's sudden resignation Monday with immediate effect. It goes on to state the letter, said to have been sent to anonymous current and former WEF staff, included allegations that Klaus Schwab asked junior employees or apprentices to withdraw thousands of dollars from ATMs on his behalf and used forum funds to pay for private in-room quote-unquote massages from the escorts. It also alleged that his wife Hildy scheduled token forum-funded meetings in order to justify luxurious holiday travel at the organization's expense. This is the guy that told you to eat the bugs and that you are going to own nothing and be poor and you're going to be happy, who's been paying for 50 years for prostitutes and drugs off of the money while trying to control you from actually enjoying anything in your day-to-day life. Well, it's good to see Klaus go, but wait, what's this? Hold on to your hat. Here comes Klaus Schwab's replacement. If you haven't met him, meet Peter Barbeck-Let-Amete. It's a hard one to say. Former CEO of Nestle, who famously stated in 2017, humans have no right to access free water. I don't know what's going on with his satanic eye symbolism, but let's hear from him himself at what he has to say. And remember, he's the former CEO of Nestle, who takes Great Lakes water, barely purifies it, probably, I don't know, and then sells it back to you. Let's hear from his own mouth. Let's hear what he has to say. Meet him.
But not.
Hold on. It's not insane.
About 50 to 100 liters per day.
What?
But not to fill a pool or wash a car.
What?
There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about water. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in regions without enough water. Water scarcity is the greatest challenge we face today. And we need to start recognizing water as a precious resource. Therefore, Water should be better managed, should be better valued, and has to be better preserved.
Is this guy smoking crack? Does anyone want to send this lunatic a message from me and let him know that we live in a water realm? That everywhere you go is water? You don't even have to dig very deep down in most places and you find water? Sure, there are barren deserts and wastelands where there are no water, but humans have also been able to find ways to pull the water straight out of the air. This is insane. This is the new WEF leader. I can't believe it, but just so you know, they don't silence us for posting false information. I'm not here on Rumble, kicked off of all the social media platforms, the most censored here, because I'm posting disinformation. No, they silenced me and you and everyone else tuning in here because we expose their agenda. Okay, only the popular alternative media promoted by Joe Rogan and other podcasts, they're the ones actually promoting and giving you the mis and disinformation. Guess what the good news is, though? Hopefully the Great Tribulation starts anytime soon. But there's only 1,300, and I guess this is probably 60 or 59 days left to go in Donald Trump's administration. We've been covering it extensively. We've been hearing from Pam Blondie over and over again. We're trying to switch up the flow, but let's hear a little bit more from her today.
Milwaukee, an illegal alien from Mexico.
Milwaukee? What is going on in Milwaukee?
The law.
No one is above the law, as she gave a sweetheart deal to pedophile sex trafficking Jeffrey Epstein as the leader of the Attorney General in Florida when all that took place. Let's hear her again. Only Epstein and his associates are above the law, but
No one is above the law. In Milwaukee, an illegal alien from Mexico was in court.
Mexico?
Being prosecuted for domestic violence. He was charged with violently attacking a man, punching him in the face 30 times, strangling him, and then attacking a woman by punching her in the face with his closed fist. Both victims were brave enough to be in court. The judge, Hannah Dugan, learned that ICE was outside to arrest him after court. She is now charged with obstruction of justice for sneaking this criminal defendant, an illegal alien, out a back exit through her chambers to avoid his arrest, leaving the victims and prosecutors sitting in court all morning waiting on justice. In New Mexico, law enforcement was tipped off that Judge Joel Cano had a TDA member living in his home. The judge and his wife allegedly gave him access to assault rifles, one with a suppressor, to go to a shooting range to perfect his skills. Law enforcement found pictures on his cell phones and social media showing multiple tattoos and gang insignia. They also found a picture of him with the judge. He had mocked a $5,000 reward to catch TDA members. They also had pictures of 2 victims who had been decapitated. Their hands were cut off and their bodies had also been mutilated. The judge, now charged with obstruction. Post Miranda, he admitted he destroyed one of the cell phones with a hammer and then took it to a city dumpster down the street to dispose of the evidence. The Trump administration will fight for victims. The rule of law is very simple. It doesn't matter what line of work you're in. If you break the law, we will follow the facts and we will prosecute you.
Whoa. Justice. Actress Pam Blondie here, delivering it up. Everything on both sides of your government is scripted. All of this is staged, scripted, and they're acting the scenarios out to, confirm the regular, to support what already should be something that's not right. But this is how satanic the government system has become, and we have to hear from it every now and then. Trump store puts, you guessed it, 2028 hat on sale in third term release tees. They wrote rewriting the rules. It says here, weeks after President Trump said he wanted to run for a third term, his namesake company is embracing the speculation by putting a red Trump hat 2028 on sale. The future looks bright, the Post said, with the 2028 high crown hat. An initial description of the $50 item read on Trump.org site website. The description was later changed to read, "Make a statement with this Made in America Trump 2028 hat, fully embroidered with a snap closure in the back. This will become your new go-to hat." The rewrite the rules, come on, is likely a reference to the Constitution's 22nd Amendment, which states no person shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. See, the presidents are just selected puppets. It doesn't matter who is in. They're going to continue to enact what they're absolutely told, but they're just trolling the people. We think that's hilarious. The Ukraine-Russia war. What is taking place over there? Trump tells Putin to stop after airstrikes. There supposedly is a war going on. The entire thing is fake. They use inflatable decoys. If you check over on the Awake Souls YouTube channel, we go into an extensive detailed coverage of how they fake wars. Wars are actually hoaxes and psyops, just like the scripture said. Rumors of wars, right? U.S. President protests as Russia strikes Kiev. Trump could bring this to a positive end. When you look at the outcome of the meeting yesterday in London, we can be quite positive on where we are, Rutt said. So I'm not seeing a situation where the U.S. is going to walk away from negotiations. They're talking about all these different things. Can the U.S. avoid World War III? History repeats itself, and I don't want this bloody history to repeat once again, Rutt bro. In the end, they had to step into the Second World War. So my message to America is that we can avoid World War III, but we need to definitely and urgently and right now to turn to the tide and unfold a new comprehensive and realistic plan on how to bring peace to Europe. Sanctions, Crimea, and Russian concessions. They're talking about, did the U.S. believe Crimea should be handed to Russia? Trump said it was just handed over. No, they say, well, you can't get it back. I think that's going to be a very difficult thing to do, Trump said. Well, they voted. The Crimean people actually voted. Keep in mind that many people in Europe surrounding Russia were once a part of the USSR, and they're Russian people, right? It's like making the countries divided and then fight amongst themselves. Breaking up the USSR wasn't to actually create sovereign places. It was to create division throughout the nation because they were too powerful as one. Trump, it takes two to tango, he says. You don't know what pressure, he said, I'm putting on Russia. UK could join European defense programs, so they're going to continue to spend more money. They're going to continue to bankrupt the people in the UK. UK EU officials hope that a defense and security pact will be the highlight of a summit on May 19th. Both sides wish to improve ties as President Trump casts doubt on the United States' commitment to NATO. View on occupied Crimea negotiations. Crimea is not a part of Russia. It has been a part of Ukraine, they state, since 1954. The proposal for the United States to acknowledge or accept or recognize that Crimea is a part of Russia is just a part of negotiations. Right now, the Russians occupy Crimea and other parts of the Ukraine as well, but don't have to recognize it legally. You can acknowledge de facto that they are there. They are occupying. They've been occupying since 2014, but you don't have to acknowledge or recognize that Russians own Crimea. It is their port. It's their port city. So we're going to continue to watch what's taking place all over the realm, and we're going to continue to update that. But did you know this about the Ukrainian country?
The Ukrainian government has banned the largest Christian denomination in Ukraine and has embraced transgenderism and other explicitly anti-Christian forms of expression. Are you aware of that? Are the Russians aware of that? Is there a religious component? Just because their hostility to Christianity is so obvious, I wonder if you notice it.
Well, I always ask the soldiers on the front line who document fighting, what they're doing there. Why are they fighting? What are they fighting for? And often an answer that they give is they're fighting Satan because they view the religious atmosphere so different, as you point out, in Ukraine than the traditional Russian society. So it's quite a religion is very important, to the Russian soldier. And of course, I think it's quite a bit more than, the traditional, you say, there's no atheists on the front line, but this goes a lot deeper into their cultural heritage.
So this was a recent interview that Tucker did. This is supposedly a Russian representative in the Ukrainian war, serving as a press, journalist, supposedly. Just little things that you probably didn't know, as they're completely against Christianity in the Ukraine. It is a Khazarian satanic country. Okay, let's get on. We're going to talk now a little bit about what's taking place. Have you heard what's going on in India?
India and Pakistan, there are tensions after the attack in Kashmir. You got any message for them? Are you going to be talking to their leaders?
Close to India, and I'm very close to Pakistan, as you know, and they've had that fight for 1,000 years in Kashmir. Kashmir's been going on for 1,000 years, probably longer than that. And it was a bad one yesterday, though. That was a bad one. Over 30 people.
Are you concerned that there's now tensions on the border between them? Are you concerned about, how are you concerned about that?
There have been tensions on that border for 1,500 years. So, the same as it's been. But they'll get it figured out one way or the other. I'm sure that is. I know both leaders. There's great tension between Pakistan and India, but there always has been.
So you've done the
So we're hearing about the war. We're hearing about this. We're hearing about that. Pence, who's married to an Indian woman, just visited there. And if I didn't repeat it on the rise again, I'll repeat it again. It looks to me that they're shifting from China over to India. And they're going to start to produce their products there and shortchange China. It says here, Apple to shift iPhone, my prediction was correct, to India. The tech giants reported plans to come amid an escalating trade war between the U.S. and China. The top assembly site for the iPhone states. A little bit more before we do another song break. What else is going on? It definitely does look like the end times.
Now, O Christians in the East and the West, hear me and obey. I am a messenger sent to you from Jesus Christ. Salam. Paul is false and led you astray.
Okay, so we're not living in the end times at all. You're telling me that this guy right here is popping up out of nowhere, going viral right after the Pope passing away? Well, at the same exact time, we have the potential of World War III kicking off because of Pakistan and India.
India will identify, track, and punish every terrorist.
So again, the tracking, identifying is the main agenda here of the satanic beast system that is being rolled out everywhere. That's why all the servers are being built. That's why all the technology is being boosted. It's not to make our lives better and more free. It's to track us and to punish us if we don't do what we're told.
We will pursue them to the ends of the earth.
I'm not sure about you guys, but that sounds...
I'm surprised he didn't say around the globe, right? Because we don't live on a globe. But to the ends of the earth, to the four corners, you don't say. Let's keep this going.
A lot like George W. Bush after 9/11. It was just the Indian version. For those wondering how could war with India and Pakistan kick off World War III, you need to know your history and remember how World War I started. World War I began on June 28, 1914, with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who was the heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne. This right here was the perfect excuse or trigger point to start World War I because of the long-term tensions and alliances. Just like this right here could be a perfect excuse or trigger point to bring in all the alliances into World War III. As we see, Pakistan has close bilateral ties with China and the Muslim world. But on the other end, you have US and other Western nations being allies with India. I'm not sure about you guys, but what a coincidence that this whole situation going on with India and Pakistan is kicked off right when J.D. Vance went to India to meet with Modi. Well, also coincidentally, the day after J.D. Vance met with the Pope, he passed away. Makes me think that the possibility of World War III starting this year is pretty high, since back in 1914, when World War I started, we had Pope Pius X passing away. Also coincidentally, the year 1939, when World War II started, we had Pope Pius XI passing away. Again, as we can see right here, World War II started in 1939. Then on top of all of this happening, the same week that Pope Francis passes away, where we have this clown right here going viral, claiming to be the new Pope and claiming to be the Mahdi. As of right now, I personally believe that this guy will have no significance in the end times. I just think he is another cult leader. But one thing I found interesting going to his website is when you go right here to our gospel, which by the way, Paul warns us, if anyone comes to you preaching another gospel, let them be accursed. When you click on that tab, you go down this section of different doors and look at this door right here, door 25, which is about extraterrestrials and how apparently in the divine scriptures there is plenty of evidence of life beyond our own. He's trying to tie the idea right here of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam having entities in other civilizations in other worlds. Right here is more of the end times deception continuing to build. With that being said, as you guys know who have seen my videos, I am completely and utterly convinced that we are living in the end times, and not just the end times, because again, it's been the end times for the last 2,000 years, but the last seconds of the end times. I mean, the puzzle pieces that are coming into place, everything that is converging. The AI, the technology, blockchain, cryptocurrency, Starlink technology, brain chips connecting to this artificial God in the future that they're trying to bring. You have wars and rumors of wars and tensions between nationalities. We have the love of many growing cold. We have, children being disobedient to parents. We have, again, just everything. It's overwhelming. We have even things that are outside the Bible coming to fruition. The prophecy of the popes, right? With Malachi, whatever you want to call him, about the 112th pope. Everything is just escalating at an exponential rate. I also know for those who are walking with the Lord in a close, intimate relationship that you can feel the urgency, you can feel the imminence of his return. And I really want to stress this to you guys. Whether you believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, a post-tribulation rapture, no rapture, whatever, you need to be ready to see him. We are told in the Word of God, watch therefore, or I'll come upon you like a thief in the night. To the Sardis church in Revelation chapter 3, they think they are spiritually alive. They think that they are good, but they're actually spiritually dead.
Many are actually spiritually dead. Absolutely true. Well said. If you're a Christian and you're thinking that because you believe in an act that took place that you're worthy to be saved, you're in serious trouble. And I'm hoping that other people out here continue to work hard at being good people and improving themselves. But all of this is really aligning. All this stuff, as well as the Albert Pike prophecy, where they were pitting Christianity against Muslim, against atheist, and the destruction of everything until finally the satanic religion is brought forth, and then they're all going to worship. Are they going to build the third temple? Right? And that is part of prophecy as well. We're going to be paying close attention. We did have an update next week on the Rise and Grind. We'll have an update on the red heifers, which most likely will be sacrificed for atonement of the priests and the people to enter into the new temple on Atonement Day this upcoming fall. So things couldn't be getting more exciting than they absolutely are. Let's do a song break and we'll get back with some more news, and we'll go up to China after this. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. making their debut on the Rise and Grind. That's Phone Boy with their brand new hit, Wayside. Come on, if you're tuning in here, do me a favor. This is my absolute dream come true. This is my passion, to play new music and to cover the news, right? And to bring new memes out to the world and share with good tips on gardening and cooking. And this is just everything that I've always wanted to do since long before this incarnation. The only thing that I ask is that you find somebody that might be interested in this and you can share it with them, whether it be via text, whether it be on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You have my permission to mirror, download, re-upload, and use any of the clips from any of my podcasts. It's all there for you. This is my passion. I do this because it is what I love to do. And what I love to do is take the power back from the disinformation campaigns as well as the crap satanic music industry. We work hard each and every week searching the internet for brand new music that makes us feel good, and then we share it with you because we don't want you to be stuck living memories in the past. We want you to make good new memories today. Come on, let's get back into this. We've got more content. I mean, this is also how we feel. Okay, I feel bad for people up in China and Canada. I feel bad for you. First off, it's cold. Okay, we've been lied to. We should have never settled and moved there. Now, I do come from the north myself, and I play hockey, and I loved growing up there, but unfortunately, it is not the place that we should live. It's too cold. If you can't live somewhere without power, without heat, and survive, it's a good chance that we weren't created to live there. Check this little clip out before we get into the news.
Go away! Go away!
That beaver is looking to get in. He wants some food from her. He's a hungry Canadian beaver. And I'm terrified for people up in Canada. It's getting serious up there, okay? Listen to this story.
I got a text from my best friend. I've known her for 18 years. She was the maid of honor at my wedding. Basically, I know she would not be making this up. She went to vote and she went inside. She's been a registered voter since she was 18. And they said that she wasn't registered to vote. So she had to re-register. And then when she went to vote, the ballots were blank. You had to fill in the name of your candidate and your MP's name. And I'm wondering if now they're voiding it if you misspell that name. And if you can't remember the name, a lady will come around with a book. And the first time she opened the first page and said, "Oh, is this your candidate from Edmonton South or Leduc?" And my friend's like, "No." Thankfully, she had his name memorized. Let me just show you the text message. She goes, "Okay, I've been a registered voter for every federal election since I turned 18. I registered the day registration opened for this election. Went and voted at the advanced polls tonight. Oh, you aren't registered." We won't read that. "Excuse me," she says. I'm like, "What, really?" "Yep, went after work. I thought it was TikTok BS and people were being over dramatic saying that they registered and then got to the polling station and suddenly weren't registered." So then I said, "That is so, you know what? Can I make a video about this and mention you? Because I want other people to come forward. I've heard other stories of things being messed up." So I said, "I knew they'd steal this election, so you have to register again?" She goes, "I was able to register at the poll and vote tonight. Also, I've never had to write my MP's name on the ballot. It's always been check boxes when I go. This one was a blank voter slip and have to write a candidate's name." So I'm like, what the that's not right. I wonder if they will screw with the votes if you misspell the name. Said Fred in question at our wedding. Now, I've heard stories about Ontario ridings having like 50 names of MPs on a ballot, but I have not heard that you have to actually write your MP's name on there. Is anybody else experiencing this? Please let me know in the comment section or anything. Please try and get some kind of video or picture proof when you go to vote or have registered early to vote for this election. I think that they're seriously trying to screw with this election. Anyway, I'm really sorry about my hair. I'm literally headed to work. I just woke up and I got off last night at like 10:30. So I hope everybody has a great day. Happy Easter. But please, please, please be vigilant and record everything about this election if you can.
Yeah, it's good advice. So the election's coming up on Monday. Selection, we should say. And we clearly see in the polls that it's Poilievre leading the way, the Conservative Party. But I want everyone to know that he's the sleeper agent. He's probably the most satanic one that you could possibly have. Carney caught misleading Canadians, oh no, not again, about Trump call. Liberal leader Mark Carney was called out for misrepresenting his discussion with President Trump after sources say their phone call involved further talk of, yes, Canada becoming the 51st state. Liberal leader Mark Carney called out for, misrepresenting the discussion, and their phone call involved further talk of Canada becoming the 51st state. Initially, Carney denied the topic was ever brought up during the call. During the now famous call between the two leaders last month, Trump allegedly continued pressing Carney on making Canada the 51st state, contrary to Carney repeatedly telling Canadians that he respected the country's so quote-unquote sovereignty, which is hilarious when they actually pledge allegiance to the king, who's not my king. Let's continue on here. And actually, no, it's not a joke here. Breaking, President Trump confirms that he was not, quote-unquote, trolling when he touted that he could work to make Canada, the 51st state. It would actually make things a lot better in Canada, but we'll move on from that. People definitely get upset when I say things like that. Let's hear more from Carnival Carney himself.
As I just said, the president brings this up all the time. He brought it up yesterday, he's brought it up before. There's a difference between the conversation that was held between leaders of government, which was this conversation, and a discussion that led directly to an agreement that as sovereign countries we would have negotiations about our partnership.
Like, how convoluted, unorganized, and deceptive of a statement was that? I mean, this, banker, lawyer, like bankruptcy lawyer, it's got to be one of the most confusing, deceptive, satanic candidates. He's way worse than Castro was. And again, Trump says, nah, I wasn't trolling. It was true. The majority of Canadians actually oppose the banning sale of gas-powered vehicles. So they floated this idea over in England. And they're continuing to float it, I guess, in Canada, because anywhere that England owns, they're going to impose their will upon the people. And supposedly Canada says, no, we don't want to be free and join the United States. We want to stay subservient to the United Kingdom and the king. But they're saying at the same time that they're sovereign. Majority of Canadians are opposed to the Liberal government's plan to ban the sale of gas and diesel passenger vehicles. It says the poll parallels a previous finding that 66.6% of Canadians believe that the Liberal government's timeline in phasing out the sale of gas and diesel passenger vehicles is utterly unrealistic. Let's hear from Polyev, the simple goy from the prairie, and what he has to say.
And there's another big problem, the cars themselves. According to the Canadian Automobile Association, EVs can lose up to 40% of their battery life in the cold.
Can you hear that? I just want to pause that. Electrical vehicles, their batteries, which is like the most expensive part of the car. Some of them are upwards of $20,000 and $30,000, just the battery. They can lose 40% of their power in the cold. So you charge the thing, and let's talk just quickly. How much is your electricity bill? I know Canadians call it hydro bill. How much is it right now? Is it cheaper at certain times? Is it expensive? If you live outside of the cities where these electric vehicles are always going to need to be charged, it's colder the more north you go, and the cost of electricity is skyrocketing. So instead of you paying for whatever crazy skyrocketing prices they've been charging for the gas, they had the carbon tax on Canadians. And though Canada has the borealis forest, which is the most abundant forest in the world for creating clean air. So instead of it being, it works out to $18 a gallon. That's how much your electric vehicle is going to cost you. The batteries lose up to 40% of their power, so you're only able to go so far in your electric car.
That number comes from tests between -7 and -15. We all know that in Canada it gets a lot colder than that. So try in Saskatchewan in January when it's -25 or colder.
Rightfully said, right? he's going to continue.
You don't have the ability to buy a car either. And I'm talking about what Mark Carney calls the zero emissions vehicle mandate, or let's call it what it really is, a $20,000 Carney tax.
So more taxes. Right. So they're trying to strong arm car sales businesses and companies, taxing them supposedly $20,000 for selling non-electric vehicles. So again, they're through totalitarianism, they're fighting back saying, nah, we don't want to be the 51st state. We want to be Canada and free. But these king cucks are lording over them with every tax that you could. The Canadians are the most taxed people in the world. It just drives me. It's actually comical to see them actually fight for their taxation.
It is a $20,000 Carney tax. Starting next year, the Liberals are going to punish auto manufacturers who, in the opinion of Liberals, sell too many gas-powered vehicles. If a company sells even one car over the government-imposed quota, they will face a $20,000 per vehicle tax, which will obviously be passed on to consumers. Now, that's not a penalty for the car company. They'll just pass it on. It's a penalty for you, the consumer. If you want to buy a vehicle that is gas-powered, then you will very likely face taxes on that vehicle if the Liberals are re-elected.
It's just getting to the point where it's absolutely insanity. The cost of living is so hard. It's so tough for people now to even survive, to just pay their bills, to get some food. Don't even think about having a holiday or not fighting with your loved ones because you're poor and you're barely getting by. Now, if a car manufacturing company is too successful, they're going to penalize them? It is getting to the point where it's utterly disgusting. Mark Carney serves what? You guessed it, poutine in Quebec. I'm a bit like Trump, Carney said. Trump at McDonald's. I kid you not, Mark Carney and the Liberals have spent a lot of campaign time telling voters they're best equipped to deal with the U.S. President Donald Trump. But on Tuesday, the Liberal leader handily compared himself to the contentious American head of state. The Liberal campaign bus rolled into Bloc Québécois, held in Grenby, Quebec, for a brief photo op with local candidate Félix Dion, a third-generation family-owned restaurant which bills itself as offering the best poutine. Now, poutine is delicious. It's fries with cheese curds smothered in gravy. It is fantastic. As seen in a video posted by CPAC, after posing for some photos out front, the former Bank of Canada governor gestured to an election sign featuring him, and he said, "What a handsome person," he said. Let's do a little comparison. Before the campaign, now he remarked, monitoring first to the image, then to himself. Carney was quickly shuffled inside with Dion, and through a small throng of supporters, stopped to shake hands and sign autographs, and then meeting with some customers inside enjoying a meal. At the counter, the two owners invited him to try his hand behind the counter, but told him he needed a hat first. So you had Trump handing out fries at McDonald's. Now you got Carney actually handing out poutine in this poutine restaurant. Here he is, pouring the poutine again. Like I said, it's hot gravy poured on top of French fries and cheese curds. It's very good. It's thrilling, he said, while doing a mock brow wipe after serving up one dish. I'm a bit like Trump, he said. Trump at McDonald's, he said again, speaking as though through a canteen window. After chopping a few potatoes and having a private conversation with Dion and the owners, Carney was out the door with a takeout plate in hand. Unbelievable what they're trying to do here. Carnival, Carney. This whole thing is just a joke. It's a mockery of the people. Here he is serving up poutine, which is delicious, nonetheless. And then what we have also in Canada, unlike most countries, there's a group of people that don't speak the same language, which is fine. They were left over from a revolution that took place where a lot of the people that spoke the other language were actually sent to the New Orleans area here in the United States. The French people that stayed there are now used to stop anything that either side of the country tries to do to make itself better, to make itself wealthier. They have the Quebec province, which is massive in size, just massive, full of resources. And when they have things like pipelines that need to go through, the Quebecois say no. They deny it, and they play the divide and conquer with each other. And here we got Francois Blanchet saying that Canada is now an artificial country with little to no meaning.
Yesterday you said that you were an MP in a foreign parliament.
Yeah.
You are working pretty hard to
hold
the balance of.
Does this guy look like he works hard? He probably has manicured hands and feet and cuticles, and somebody probably clips his ear hair, and this guy doesn't know what hard work is.
Power of that parliament. Isn't it this
it's a joke.
The definition of foreign interference?
We are, either we like it or not, part of an artificial country with very little meaning called Canada. Many people in Canada write to me and say, we'd like to have the same as Quebec has. As long as we're part of it and we get elected in this parliament, we are entitled to any right and privilege and opportunity being provided by the persons who vote. And I will relinquish none of them. And if it's a foreign parliament because this nation is not mine. I don't feel more at ease in the Canadian Parliament than Mrs. Smith would feel at ease in the Assemblée nationale du Québec.
Wow. So he's coming out saying he is not comfortable there anymore. Country has no meaning anymore. It's true. On top of that, the Canadian dollar is diving against other major currencies despite gaining against the greenback. So they're slowly a little bit coming against the American dollar, but taking a nosedive against other countries. The loonie, the Canadian dollar is called, which is a beautiful monogamous bird and very, very beautiful call if you've ever seen. We'll have to start playing that again. And now we've got the Beirut bombing part 2. The lead up into World War III, we've got Iranian port of Pope&apos being attacked. Better get out of there, everybody. Whoa, what took place over here in this port? Again, this is in Iran. It's kind of like what happened in Beirut. Let's check it out again. Boom. Was this another hydrogen bomb? I didn't see an implosion. I did see an explosion. It might have been dynamite. It was pretty big. Boom. Blasted everybody back. A lot of people have died. This is tragic what's taking place here. Unbelievable. First we had the Beirut bombing, now we've got the Iranian bombing. Both at ports. Both taking place not that far apart. Both kind of against Israel, supposedly. The blaze is just burning. They're trying to put it out. Apparently they did get it under control, but a lot of death, a lot of destruction at this port. Another huge precursor to what very well likely could be World War III headed our way. Everything just got wrecked. Was it fertilizer? Was it hydrogen? We know that nuclear weapons don't exist. They're fear porn created to control people. They do have explosive devices. They have fertilizer bombs. They can't really use nitroglycerin because you can't transport it. It's too unstable. But they do have hydrogen bombs, which are extremely powerful. Once they implode, they explode with serious amounts of force. This is very reminiscent of the Beirut blast. But this one's now in Iran. Wow. Crazy. A lot of life lost. Sad. Very sad. They're trying to put it out. They're trying to deal with it. There's just damage everywhere. Getting them searching for any people that could have lived. Unbelievable. Checking in with the news. Let's do another song break. I'll see you after this break.
When you're feeling half empty, we could share a good cry. Just let me know when you need me. You could take all my time, because I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you when you're stuck in the dark times, we'll find a way to the light. I'm here whenever you need me. We can make it alright, because I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you forever. I'll be here for you
I sure will, and that's Slow Joy with their brand new track, Here For You. I hope you enjoyed that one as much as me, and I've got some good stuff to show too. It's not always doom and gloom here on The Rise and Grind. We bring inspiration, we bring gardening, we bring vegetables, we bring flowers. Check this out, okay? If you haven't seen this, I was shocked. I thought Texas was like a desert, you know, kind of like Arizona or other places like that. No. It's absolutely some of the most beautiful places you could ever imagine. I mean, this is incredible what takes place here in the spring. The Texas Hill Country Spring. Check it out. Super beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't even know it existed. But I do now. Beautiful. Just everywhere. Just all these beautiful flowers just show up. And actually, interestingly enough, it's the ants. The ants are the gardeners. There is a purpose for everything in creation. And you just have to look a little bit and you'll actually start to see and find out why. Check this out. There are many books omitted from the Bible. Listen, on the Awake Souls YouTube channel, again, in the description box, you'll find a link there. We read them. I have personally for almost 15 years doing the best that I could to find every single book that was taken out from the Bible, and we read them live and we put them back in their position, rightfully so. All inspired scripture is scripture to learn. Here is a complete apocrypha that contains 12 apocryphal texts. Contains juicy details, stuff that's very interesting, stuff that you need because then you won't be confused, you know? So there's always the, Cain killed Abel because he gave flowers instead of, his offering was accepted, and it was the fat. It was the meat from his flock, whereas Cain brought vegetables. And people think, wow, what kind of crazy Creator God, as this will know, is that the way that it was coded was that Cain was born with a twin sister and Abel was born with a twin sister. And they were to switch. The one was to marry the other. Cain actually kidnapped and married and procreated with his own twin sister, and that's why his offering was rejected. But you don't know that because it was taken out of the 66-book canon that was created by, yeah, you guessed it, the church fathers. Call no one your father except he who is in heaven, Yahweh, who is the Father of life. But if you go, I put a link in the comment section of this video on Amazon. This is only $31, and you can get, what does it say here? 144 different books. This 28th edition of the Complete Apocrypha is back, now fully updated and revised with all the latest material, it says here, featuring the complete collection of 100 more books that were taken out of the Bible, plus 44 more books on top of that. Fully accurately revised. There's always some error, but you can always do the due diligence. This book here, they state, is it double, maybe triple the actual 66 canon book Bible? You've got Jasher, you've got the books of Enoch, you've got Jubilees. There's so many more books that you don't know about. But if you check it out, here they are. The link is in the description box. If you're looking for more, you just found it. I couldn't believe this. Last week, we saw almost 5.5-inch hail coming down. The end times does state that large, giant chunks of hail will rain down on people. So make sure you're in good standing and you're out doing good things. Number of wind turbines worldwide is a mystery, but it's hundreds of thousands. The cost of an average turbine is $4 million. The total spending in 2023 was $280 billion. Just 1 year. And what you don't know, they say everything that they do that they say is green is actually anti-life, anti-earth. The worst possible you could have. Each wind turbine here uses 187 gallons of grease, 40 gallons of hydraulic oil, 106 gallons of gear oil, 1,585 gallons of dielectric fluid, 793 gallons of diesel fluid, 243 pounds of sulfur hexafluoride, 357 gallons of propylene glycol, and 48 gallons of ethylene glycol. And on top of all this, it messes the natural wind flows of the earth, creating droughts in certain areas, and birds fly into the turbines and die. These things need to be ripped down, and whoever came up with this and who's ever putting this into play needs to be removed from their job. They needed a crisis to roll out the COVID shot. We got the fake virus. Now they will need a crisis to roll out the CBDCs. Is it going to be tariffs? What is the crisis? It's most likely going to be a staged, fake, scripted World War III. And we're going to be covering here on the Rise and Grind. Don't you worry. I thought this was fascinating. After I saw this video sent it from the Goldsmith, I now take my time. On the right, we've got regular gasoline. On the left, we have diesel. Look what happens when you fill up your car with gas. It's all foam. It's just like a bad beer pour. Crazy. What is going on here? It's just all foam. So once you pour the gas in your car, wait a little while. Give it some time. And then you add a bit more. And continue that until it stops. And you're going to see that you're going to get a lot more miles per tank than you have been getting. Or kilometers for Canadians. We got Rubio. We shut down the censorship machine, supposedly. The Trump administration has officially axed the Global Engagement Center. And Rubio says that weaponized against free speech. They're saying that they weaponized it against conservatives. So the mainstream and mainstream alternative media people who were taken down, they've all got their channels back, but me. Go figure. YouTube will not give me my channel back. They're now allowed to say whatever they want as long as you say the agenda. Moving on from that, this is what the globalists use as deliberate deception. We talk about the Hegelian dialectic. In reality, they control all political parties, countries, and their installed puppet leaders, including the regular media and the alternative media. When they require a conflict, they pretend a couple of countries are in opposition to each other, when in reality they are funding and controlling both sides. They did it with all the world wars, and they are doing it now with Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Hamas, or India and Pakistan. The deliberate dialectic deception. It states here, one of the many deceptions used by those in power to keep us under control. You as the ruler have two sons. You dress one in red and the other in blue. Simple, right? You get followers of your red son to hate the followers of your blue son and vice versa. You fund both sides and orchestrate wars between them where only the followers get killed. Your sons don't actually get killed, though. And all three of you enjoy your power, laughing at the stupidity of the masses from behind the theater stage. The wars are orchestrated to cause major changes which only serve the interests of the rulers and their sons, and in which otherwise be considered unacceptable to the masses of the followers on both sides. They get people to literally kill and hate their own people, our own brothers and sisters. Whether they have different skin color, different hair color, different eye color, we should all love and respect each other and the right to life. Did you know, though, that the Rockefeller family are the ones who are behind all of the modern-day pharmaceuticals? At the same time that John D. Rockefeller seized the U.S. media, he also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from, you guessed it, oil, petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. It states here, medicines used for thousands of years, like food, right, thyme, arugula, we'll get into that, were actually classified as alternative. Marijuana and hemp, everything was taken away, while the new petroleum-based, highly addictive and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. Stay as far away from pharmaceuticals as you can. And yes, some can preserve your life. There are good and bad in every situation, and we are to use discernment to figure them out. Last but not least, it's interesting when we look at this, how much we were lied to about our diets, right? Doctors don't care if you're healthy. They actually need you sick. They want you to be fat, sick, and stressed and depressed, right? 14 quick myths about food. Increase the eggs increases your cholesterol. Eating cholesterol, supposedly from eggs, does not increase your cholesterol rate, right? It's not. Eggs are rich in nutrients, amino acids. They are the almost best source of protein and nutrients that we can find. You should drink 8 glasses of water a day. Actually, no. Hydration needs to differ for each person. Rely on your thirst and the water content of foods rather than rigid rules, because what it does is overworks your kidneys and liver, and you become toxic and other problems start to form when you overdrink water, as well as we don't know what's in the water, okay? We do know what's in homegrown gardening. We'll get into that in the next section after the memes. Breakfast is a very important time of the day, but you don't always have to eat breakfast. This is Thomas DeLure, who you can follow, and you're going to find that he's actually changed this statement. He does steroids and other things to improve his health and then sells you stuff on his channel, also while giving out some decent information. He now swears that he would eat breakfast over dinner now. He's completely reverted since this video was made. So you, even after hearing other people's opinions on the internet, still need to know that you are still being deceived and you have to fight through and find all things. Eating when hungry is probably the most important way to go. All protein sources are created equal. Absolutely not. Plant-based protein sources have weaker effects on the body due to unbalanced amino acid profiles. You need to have healthy vegetables, especially greens. They're very important. And other things, again, we'll be learning as we go through the Rise and Grind how these types of food are actually medicines, okay? But animal proteins, especially eggs, are better utilized to produce muscles, bones, and the correct hormones needed to be healthy, okay? 2 eggs a day is very good you can have. All calories are created equal. That's an absolute lie, right? Where the calories come from matters. 300 calories of lean chicken affect the body much differently than 300 calories of ice cream, which is okay to have every now and then. I recommend custard, but if you just want regular ice cream, go ahead and have it every now and then. You need to keep a metabolism moving. If you starve yourself too much, your metabolism shrinks, and then you end up storing more fat than wanted. Eating 5 or 6 meals a day speeds up your metabolism is not true, though. You can get through with just 2 simple meals, and sometimes maybe 2 and a small meal. The best evidence now is pointing to, when active, the largest meal should be eaten in the morning, slowing down throughout the day, and then not even eating past 2 or 3 o'clock is one of the best ways to lose weight, right? And continuing to have that food while moving. But you don't have to have 6 meals a day. It's crazy. The Rockefeller Foundation and whoever owns the food companies are the ones that make that up. Fats make you fat? Absolute lie. You absolutely need good essential fats, right? Avocados, olive oils, grape oil. These are the types of things that we want and you should be having in your diet. Carbohydrates are the enemy? An absolute lie, okay? No, we can get good carbohydrates. Now, certain types of breads, if overeaten, can cause the body to inflammate or store fat. You can have oats, brown rice, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, whole wheat bread. I like sourdough the most, quinoa, kidney beans, whole wheat pasta. I can't read that one. Couscous? Couscous. Excuse me, I actually do know what that is. I had a Romanian friend who introduced me to mamaliga, which is good couscous. Green peas, multigrain cereal, and pumpkins. They're not just good to carve, they're actually good to eat. Okay, there are good carbs. High cholesterol can cause heart disease. Not true. Okay, we need to eat foods that are high in cholesterol. They actually decrease heart disease. Red meat is bad for your health. No, good red meat is some of the best possible food we can eat, right? But overeating it can be a problem. Salt is bad for your health. No, salt is not bad for your health. You can get good salt. I've been improving my salt intake, and I'm learning as I go. Organic or healthy. Organic is better than processed, but doesn't automatically make it healthy. Cookies are still junk food. Ice cream will still make you overweight. On whole, nutrient-dense organic foods, not just the labels, okay? We have to continue to look at everything we eat. Plant-based diets are healthier. A diet based on processed plant-based junk food is very unhealthy. You need to have a balanced diet of greens, meats, all these different things. The food pyramid is healthy? Absolutely not. The old pyramid's recommendations to include high carbohydrates and low fat contributed to the obesity epidemic that we find ourselves in today. It's good to mix everything to have a balanced diet. Let's do a song break and we come back. Yep, you guessed it. Memes of the week. Thanks for tuning in. I am super excited that you did, and thank you for sharing this content. I'll be right back. some trap. Poseidon. Sam Cosmic Remix. You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
And now, the wait is over. It's time for Memes of the Week. Sponsored by Aluminum Foil.
Let's get into this. Come on, don't go away. You haven't missed it yet if you're still tuned in. We got tonight, pressure. Okay, we're going to be talking about what took place over on Awake Souls YouTube channel. Make sure you see that in the description box is the link to that. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be great. Pressure, does it matter? Oh yeah, it matters. You can't fix a broken system with the same people that broke it. You can, okay? So stop trying to select or vote your people into power. Start making a difference in your own life. My face when someone starts happily talking about AI being the future. I mean, scary, scary situation here. Empathy is a weakness. How dare people laugh at my pain? The Canadian two-party system. I got two moldy oranges. They're both fucking garbage. Come on, people. Here we got the new WEF leader. Meet Schwab's replacement. Peter Barbeck Letamith, however you say his name. The former CEO of Nestle famously, humans have no right to access free water. This guy's leading the WEF now. New WEF leader demands an aquarium filled with sharks with laser beams. Remember the circle here forms 666. The WEF logo here. Humans have no right to access free water. World Economic Forum. Now let's do another sound break after we get back. We'll get through some more memes of the week. Thanks for tuning in. That new one from the band 100th was called Blitz. Let's get back into this memes of the week blitz. Check this one out. 17,000 miles an hour there was traveling here, supposedly. And this is what you get at 1,700 miles per hour. See the difference here? I see a difference. Some are saying, whoa, what's going on here? Were they really the all-female first supposed astronauts? I don't know. Breakdancer, astronauts. Good equivalency. Someone calling them star whores. I don't know. I don't want to insult them, but these are the memes of the week. Check this one out. Just hear me out. Putting Gibson in as Pope here. Pope here is breathing some fire. Apparently the two witnesses are going to have something to say about that. Nice try. Look at this one here. Oh, yeah. Grabbed himself Pope Francis. Come on down. Here we got the Pope Slayer. JD. Vampire Touch, they're saying here. Level 3 Necromancy spell card enacted. That's what they're saying. The Pope. Who's next on JD Vance's tour? This one here says, read the part where it says dirty nuns bastards aren't welcome in heaven. Heaven is actually here, everybody, okay? You believe you're born again. That doesn't mean some spray water on your forehead here. On a highway, yep, you guessed it. To hell. That's where he's headed. Remember this? Seems a bit more fitting now, doesn't it, Francis? Pope Francis waves from a car. Yep, as he's headed to hell. He is going somewhere. It's not here. Pope Francis says getting vaccinated was an act of love. Scary. Check this one out. Who do you want JD Vance to visit next? Welcome, my faithful son. It's not going to be so good down there. Vatican promises next pope will be a woman of color. Oh, it's hilarious. When someone asks, what would Christ do? You bet it. You bet you. After the Pope's death, the Vatican announced it by burning his hard drives and Choir Boy magazines. That's what's coming out of the chimney right now. Pope Francis urges people to get vaccinated, calling it an act of love. Being vaccinated is an act of love, Pope Francis said. To ensure the majority of people are vaccinated is an act of love. Wonder how that's working out for you now. Pope Francis has died. Welcome to your new home. Look at this one. Hear me out. He might be working for the Vatican. There's a good chance. R.I.P. Pope Francis, says the next leader in charge over there. Look at this one here. Pope Francis, go directly to hell. Do not pass go. Do not click $200. And don't hear me out. I mean, let's hear the silent producer's pick this week. I'll be back after this song.
I don't know. When did we lose control? Stuck in the same old place, trying to make some sense. I don't know. When did we lose control? Stuck in the same old place, trying to make some sense.
Oliver Stories, Tiberius Bergstrom. What a great tune that was. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the new music as much as me. But we've got this special section of the podcast here. This is where we're going to talk about the update on the gardens. I don't know if you've been checking it out, if you've been watching. Well, this is update number 2 on the gardens, and they're going really well. They are growing, and I'm already able to actually start enjoying the produce. Check it out. Look at this here as I show. Let's go onto this screen. We'll see how it all fits. Let me make sure it's fitting here on the screen. And that didn't work right. I'll close this. Let's just check this out. Have a listen. I'll show you here. Check it out. Here's the first garden that I've been able to actually start eating and enjoying too. This week's update in the gardens. This is the South Garden Atrium. The arugula is amazing. I'm actually going to start clipping it and eating it. You can take the plant and take clippings from down here, about an inch above the bottom, further up. I'm going to take the larger ones, even though they say that the smaller arugula actually tastes better, and it will continue to grow. We've got another loose leaf lettuce, which is the black-seeded Simpson. It's coming along really nice. It's actually ahead of the little gem. This is the little gem side. The loose leaf black-seeded Simpson is coming along great. Thyme, a little bit slower. Not as much progression. Cilantro is really coming along, and if you could just smell how good and fresh these heirloom vegetables are, you'd definitely be inspired to start growing them yourselves. And you can use pots or laundry baskets. I do recommend not using anything that's clear, because if you use a clear container, the sun will actually get to the roots and it will kill the plant. Over here, everything seems to be doing really, really good. We've got oregano. We've got a bunch of mixture of stuff, and that's basil. Basil and basil and basil, and it just smells, wow. The flavor, the smell is just unbelievable. I can't wait to make some pasta and put these fresh vegetables in them. Over here we've got the dill, and it's really coming along as well. It's looking great. Really has a nice smell. I really can't get over how well everything smells. And then we've got the onions. Really starting to come in. A little slow now. One tip that I've learned that I could have done was planted onion in with the arugula, and they would have shared similar features. More onion in here. But everything is just coming out great. I'm actually going to start to eat these. It's only been, I think, 15 or 20 days. You can already start to enjoy your arugula, and I'm hoping it grows all summer long. So what I did was last night clipped, a lot of these areas that were the largest spots. I clipped them an inch above the tops of the soil. And apparently the second growth of the arugula is spicier and has a better flavor than the first growth. And I'll continue to do that. And then this stuff is going to turn to seed. And I'm going to take those seeds and replant it again next year. And being in climate zone 8, we don't really have a winter. So if the weather stays nice, I wonder how long I can keep this stuff going. Moving on to the second garden, check this out. Big updates on this side of the farm. So update on the second atrium. We'll call this the north side of the property. The ears of corn are really coming along. You can see I sowed them not perfectly in their rows. I might do a little moving around, but I don't know yet. That's what I'm gonna do. So that's the first corn. Here we've got a mixture of, I've planted cherry tomatoes and I've mixed it with habanero peppers. So there's gonna be a mixture of stuff here. I just have this here to protect it from the chickens so that they don't eat or dig up in my gardens. They can't even get in here. This is where we've got the atrium, and remember, this is the sunshade for my zone, which is 8, which this cuts out about 50%, except this side of the garden here, I want as much sun as I can get, because it's, so we've got This half here I've sown all onion. So this whole side of the garden is all onion. Then over here we've got a bunch of cherry tomato plants. And you can see they're starting to come up now. So this is going to be all cherry tomatoes. Not so much progression. Oh, there's a snail. You're going to get fed. You're going to get fed to the chickens. I'm sorry. You're going to get fed to the chickens. So again, here we've got the different peppers that we've got. The Hungarian hot banana. We've got Caribbean red hots. And we've got the hot pepper Greek peppercini. Over here we're now actually starting to get our lettuce coming up. We've got a tighter net lettuce, not a loose leaf. Got another type of lettuce that's going to grow in this bed, and it likes shade. So this is the most shaded spot, and I've started to try to weed, but the grass does like to want to come up. And here we've got our mint, and it's a slow seeder. It's starting to come up. Over here we've got, I believe this is rosemary, and it's just slowly starting to come up, as well as some grass. But that's why we're doing the updates each week or every other week. This is all going to be asparagus. As you can see, it's starting to come up and it's doing good. It's happy. Here we've got chorizo and chives. And they're slow too, but they're starting to come up. We're excited for that. Here we've got the lavender, and it's starting to come along now too. Here comes the chickens. I'm letting them out. They don't always stay in their pen. I allow them to free range too. Here we've got great news. This is Swiss chard. The Swiss chard is coming up. You can see how it starts to grow and what it looks like in the rows that I planted. Row, row, row. Over here, this is spinach. You can see it starting to come up too. Oh no, sorry, I got it confused. Swiss chard and spinach. These are the two different rows. There you go. And over here we've got the corn. So that's this side of the atrium. We're going to continue to monitor it and show everybody. And the other tip of this week is when growing plants or vegetables, always water before the sun rises. So what happens is, as the sun rises up, it actually draws the water through a bunch of miraculous properties through evaporation and other types of things. Like the water just seems to be attracted to the sunlight. It draws it up into the plant, allowing the plant to grow and reach up to the sky. Now, if it's hot, your plants are wilting, and it's afternoon, you still should hit them then, but the best time is in the morning so that the plants can pull the water up into their bodies. Hope everybody's having a great day. Here's the second update for this week. Yeah, it's coming along, and anyone can do it. You can do these raised beds. You can do any type of pots, pails, like anything that you want. Get out there and start growing your own stuff, right? Dig, sow, plant, grow, right? F the New World Order. Screw them. You can do it on the other side of the screen. I believe in you. You absolutely have the power. You can take the power back. And it feels good. The arugula that I had last night was amazing. It was softer than the regular stuff. It makes me wonder, what is the regular stuff that I'm eating from the grocery store? Is it Bill Gates stuff? I really don't know. I really don't know. But you can do it on the other side of the screen, okay? Spring is coming, and everybody in the north, it's time to start growing, okay? Because we're all sacred. We are all sacred beings, and we all have the rights to sacred food, to be healthy, okay? Arugula, it's not just delicious. I didn't just enjoy it, okay? It's superfood, right? It's good for our bones. It's good for our heart, right? It's anti-carcinogenic, right? This stuff kills cancer cells. I mean, you want to eat it, okay? Make sure you're trying to get as much good stuff. If you can't grow it, you can still get it at the grocery store. But if you have a balcony, you can grow it in a pail. You can grow it in so many different ways. You can start to grow your own food. That's what we want you to do here. Here, what's the difference between raw milk versus conventional milk? It's crazy. Nutrient immune factors: vitamin A, C, E, iron, zinc, B complex, calcium, enzymes, immunoglobulins, whey protein. You can see here, raw milk, everything is 100% active. Look at the reductions when we pasteurize things, right? You might think it's not good, but it is good for us to get natural things. That's what we want to promote here on the Rise and Grind. Here's some pruning techniques, right? This is what I need to work on, and you on the other side of this screen can also improve on your pruning. You see the way that the branches grow and they don't follow along the path. You can see here where you have broken branches, branches that aren't flowing, are overgrown in wrong spots, need to be pruned. Well, bad pruning is when you cut flush to the tree limb, right? And the good pruning is when you leave the bark ridge and the branch collar. This is new to me too. This is the first time I've seen this depicted in a drawing, and I'm going to work on this. And I want you to learn how to prune too, and then afterwards, what you don't prune gets more sustenance. It gets more of the stuff that it needs. A good way to pull out trees or posts that I've never seen is a bottle jack, a wooden wedge, and you wrap the post or the tree with a chain. Then you can wedge it up out of the ground. Oh, there's Alexander. He wants to be fed. The rooster is close by. Moving on with this. Did you know that a single acre of hemp can produce the same amount of paper as 4 acres of trees? And guess how long the acres of trees take to grow? 10 to 20 years. As opposed is you can grow 3 crops of hemp. 3 crops in one season here in Texas. Believe it or not, okay? This is something for homework this week. It is to declare it. Use the power of your own voice to declare into the creation that you welcome blessings, that you welcome and beg for, in like my case, miracles. We live in a world that keeps getting better and better every day. Speak it out loud. Do you realize how marvelous it is that you hold the power of creation in your voice? Everything in this reality was voice activated. That's how it was created. Your words are not just words. They are using your unique frequency, that you have the free will to focus in any direction you want, to send out a vibration of creation back out into the creation. Or you can use the Catholic word made up universe. Your words do not merely describe your world, they create it. Choose your words wisely and remember your power of creation as you speak it out, as you say it, so it is. And that's why I said I love arugula. I am already enjoying the fruits of my garden. I love arugula and I am eating it. I declared it. Next week, please declare what you need. Okay. Sometimes, though, the mirror is another soul looking back at you. Embrace them. And I pray and hope that everyone out here is loved and being taken care of the way they are needed to. You are not following signs anymore. You on the other side of the screen are the sign. Others will now look to you for guidance because you have stepped fully into the embodiment of the divine. Divine missions. You have been created with divine power. Okay? Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Everything you ever want is already here. It is simply a matter of choosing the thoughts and actions which will put you into harmonious vibrations with that which you desire. And it shall be yours. Ask and you will find. Seek and you will be found. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Happy Sunday, April 27th. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I got to go take care of the rooster. I'll see you tonight on the Awake Souls YouTube channel as we discuss, you guessed it, pressure and how fake the recent supposed quote-unquote trip to space was. You are not going to want to miss this. Take care, everybody. Super shout out to the Creator and His Christ, to everyone who made a meme, a song, whoever made a TikTok or Twitter post or anything that got shared in this podcast, to the Goldsmith, to YD, to Awake Souls, to everybody on this small but powerful team. Super shout out to you. I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Can you set me free? You're all I wanted.
Let's go.